Hello, I'm back again with a safe relationship training session, and I want to speak for a few moments today about the issue of personal power and safe relationship training. And by safe relationship training, I mean us having the ability to train ourselves to have safe relationship skills so that we can take care of ourselves in the dating scene and in our relationships with other people and in our relationship with ourselves as well, importantly. And today I want to focus in on one of these skills that we can foster as far as our own relationships are concerned and as far as our personal growth is concerned. And that is the issue of personal power and the importance of maintaining our own personal power in our relationships with other people and in our relationship with ourselves. And by that I mean that when we value our relationship with ourselves and our own personal power, we are more likely to want to maintain that personal power in our relationships. And so it all begins really with our relationship with ourselves and how much respect we have for ourselves and other people. And we are all an example to other people in our interactions. And so when we become aware of maintaining our own personal power on a daily basis in a number of ways and still maintaining that personal power in our interactions with other people and recognizing also that the other person has a right to maintain their own personal power without that infringing on our personal power and our right to maintain our own personal power in our relationships and in situations. And this is part of our assertiveness toolbox. And so, when we firstly acknowledge its importance in our lives and everyone's life, then we are more likely to be able to honour our personal power in our relationships and in our situations in our lives. And then we are more likely to be able to create safe relationships and situations because we have enough personal power in order to maintain our boundaries and to set limits with ourselves and with other people and to make appropriate decisions based on those limits and those boundaries. And so our personal power feeds into all these other areas of our life and is reflected in our relationship choices. So I wanted to leave you with a couple of tips today and just to highlight those points for you so that we can maintain our personal power as a tool to have in our relationship toolbox so that we can be aware when someone is trespassing on our personal power and trying to undermine it so that they may be superior, or they may be the dominant one in the situation by undermining other people's personal power. And so one of the first points that I want to make is that we have the ability, if we use certain skills, to maintain our personal power at a certain level, and then to be able to recognize when a situation or a person is draining us of that personal power through their behavior or their actions. And when we are able to recognize when it's being drained and undermined, then we're able to take the appropriate action in order to pull back our power and to increase it and to maintain it at a certain level, and also to boundary our power so that other people and situations are not able to drain us anymore. I've made a note here just to say that maintaining our personal power does support our self-esteem and our self-confidence as well. So it's a pretty key tool to have in our safe relationship toolbox and in our personal development toolbox, because when we maintain our power at a high level, we're able to utilize that power in order to make appropriate decisions and to be able to direct our life autonomously in the way that we purposely want it to go, rather than allowing people and situations to take our life potentially in a direction that we do not want. Another issue that I want to just flag up here, which is an interesting one that I've found in my own life, and I use this as much as I can to try and remember this point, that it is possible for one area to affect all the other areas in our life. And so if there is a damaging situation going on in one area of our life, that will of course have a knock-on effect on other areas as well, and potentially on our levels of personal power. So it's quite interesting to keep that issue in mind, that we maintain all areas of our life at an optimum level so that each area is empowered on a consistent basis, and our personal development then is empowered and protected so that we can continue to grow, we can continue to blossom and to lead the life that we truly want to create as well. So I think what I'm going to do is to leave it there for today, because I wanted to primarily to highlight the issue of personal power in maintaining safe relationships, because the more power, the personal power we have, the more likely we're going to be able to behave assertively, to speak up for ourselves, to make authentic life decisions, and to be able to consciously create the types of relationships safely that we want to in our lives. And so that was one major point that I wanted to make today, is to boundary and protect our personal power, and to be able to identify when unsafe relationships or situations are draining that power and therefore disabling us in some way, from being able to build it back up again in the future. So, as always, stay safe and very happy. Bye bye.